Hey everyone, I'm Sal Cincotta, and welcome to this week's 2-Minute Critique, where every week we critique your images with one goal in mind: help you become a better photographer by learning from the mistakes of others. All right, so let's get started. Last week I had trouble staying at 2 minutes, and this week I promise I'm going to try and stay to 2 minutes per image, but no promises. All right, so let's get our timer started here. All right, so as we get started in this, I'm seeing what I'm going to assume is just more of a street photography shot, photojournalistic shot. But look, at the end of the day, just because it's street photography doesn't mean that the rules of photography go out the window. I get it. I know how street photography works. You're shooting, you're waiting for these moments, but you are waiting for those moments, right? You're not just randomly walking through the street to see something. Sometimes it happens, but sometimes if you talk to street photographers, they are framing up a shot waiting for that to happen, right? So what we have to do is, when we're looking at this kind of image, is where's the story? What story are you telling me? Now, this is a great, I think it's an adorable picture. If we zoom in here on this kid. Right? Looks like this is overseas somewhere. I don't know if he's trying to eat the bottle or drink from the bottle, but it's enough to get you to smile. But I'm seeing more of the back of his head. So I'm really losing the most important element here, I think, of this shot, which is his expression, his response, his face. I want to see his face. And then, of course, we do have some issues here where we're cutting off joints here. And I'm not sure that this, other than trying to frame him, right? I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to frame him. Other than trying to frame him, I'm not sure that these two people are helping as much as they should. They're creating a lot of distraction for me, right? So as I look at something like this, I want to be in tighter to this kid. I want to be down in here with him, because it's about him, right? It's not about her random arm that's out of frame. It's not about his leg or his upper body that's useless. That's not adding to the shot. This is where the action is. This is what I want to see. I want to come into this. So don't be afraid to use cropping. That's my 2 minutes. I'm going to stay. Don't be afraid to use cropping to get in. Sometimes you got to shoot wide, but use cropping to adjust your composition. And again, move your feet. I know this happened fast, but I want to see his face. I want to see that expression, because I think that's where the real shot is in all this. All right, next shot. Okay, start my timer. All right, so when I'm looking at something like this, I'm sorry, this image is a mess right now, right? So there's a lot of problems with this. To me, this is a portrait, and we are professional photographers, right? Or professional wannabe photographers, all of which is fine. And what I mean by that statement is we have to produce more than just something that looks like a snapshot. This looks like maybe I said to my girlfriend, my wife, hey, do me a favor, go sit over there real quick, right? And that is not, this is why you're sending it to me. So we've got all sorts of problems. The first problem for me is right here, guys. Right here. She looks like a catcher, right? And this is a problem. And so I am very conscious when I have seniors especially squat. Now, I know she's not a high school senior, but this is a pose that I might have a senior in, and I might have them squat down. I never want to shoot directly into the crotch. It's no good, man. It's just bad. It doesn't look good. Doesn't feel good, feels awkward. And we're creating, even with the hands, we're creating this kind of open area in here on the body, and the body lines don't feel right, right? So what I like to do with something like this, even if I stagger the feet, all right? Have those feet stagger a little bit. So have one foot out so they're kind of adjusting their body. I don't like everything like this, right? And I know you can't see my feet, but imagine my feet just look like hers. Everything's just too open in the middle. I like to get her a little sideways, right? Create some angles in the shoulders, have them leaning in a little bit, adjust those shoulder angles. And then the hands, instead of having them wide open, the hands, one hand can be on the wrist, and then this becomes a little bit better. All right. The other problem with this is, if we look at this, realistically, this is not adding to the shot. Because of this hard horizontal line through her head, it's actually a distraction. You're getting me lost up there. Right? So again, this is just, we see it time and time again. We could crop down and that becomes a little bit better. So there's a lot of problems with this image, but hopefully you've learned from it. We've got to think about where we're posing. I know I said I was going to stay on time. It's just so hard. Look at the light and hard shadows that are being cast across her body. Hard shadows aren't always bad, but we're not using them in the right way here. And then, of course, this hat is just creating, maybe you like the pattern and that's what you were going for, but I'm not sure with everything else going on in the shot. I think it's just a distraction and it's not making it the best it could possibly be. All right, next shot. So this looks like it's probably, you know, an engagement photo, an in love session, you know, so let's just start with that, right? So again, we should always be looking at pictures on what could be better. And so I don't know about you guys, but I cannot miss the paw prints on the elevator. Like, that was the first thing I saw when I opened this up. Like, dude, whose greasy kid was all over this elevator, right? So, I mean, it's a distraction. And so our job as professionals are to fix some of these distractions. And you might be thinking to yourself, if you're watching this, how am I supposed to remove handprints from the elevator, Sal? If you don't see it in the field, because in the field you could easily walk up with you're in a bar or a hotel or something, right? Grab a napkin, grab a rag. And if you don't have that, that's fine too. Fix it in post-production, because the couple, here's why I'm saying this. The couple is not going to put this on their wall big. Now imagine this is a 20 by 30 on their wall, and then there's just like handprints. Now, I don't know, is it their kids? And it's like there's handprints from like, this is Billy's hand at 2 years old. Maybe there's a little bit more to it, but I doubt that's what's going on. So that becomes a distraction, in my opinion. The image is also skewed, right? So this is bothering me as well, where we've got this peeling off kind of down to the left, but this looks a little bit even. So this is probably because we're shooting it with a wider angle lens, and we are off to the side, and that's creating that skew. Just really resonating why we have to get squared up to a shot like this, especially when there's architecture involved. Some other things that are bothering me here. I don't understand why they're cut right here. It's just a distraction. I would say from that perspective, maybe crop in a little bit tighter on them. So maybe you're here with it. And this becomes a little bit more interesting on that. So these are the kind of things that you either have to control in the field, right, which we can't always do, trust me. I shoot weddings and engagements, or in post-production, we have to look for ways to fix this stuff. And understand, I'm looking at it through the guise of how can it be better, through the guise or through the eyes of like, how do we sell this to our clients, right? So that's how I'm trying to look at this kind of stuff. Is it a saleable image? I don't want to hear my clients love it. Make it better. We're supposed to be professionals. Hopefully you guys learned something. If you love this video, subscribe to our channel, like it, and comment below. We'll see you guys next week.